Hello everybody and welcome to Haus. I'm Rob, and today we're going to be talking about some Gen 10 leaks, potential Gen 10 leaks, I should say. Just ones that I've seen on 4chan and some other people talking about. Ones that actually just came out like a day ago that I had not seen anybody talking about. So I found these ones, thought that we should talk about it, and I guess we'll get to find out whether or not I believe, or if you guys believe, that these are going to be real. Before we get into it though, make sure you guys like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the great Pokemon Legends ZA, Pokemon Gen 10, Pokemon Champions, Pokemon Pokopia, all the different Pokemon content that you guys can imagine here at Haus. Also, let me know in the comments section below whether or not you think that these are real. Now, I'm going to lead off. I like to have an image before I go into any potential spoilers or anything like that. Pokemon Tides and Gales, that was something that we had actually talked about way back in May. This is general, wind and waves, stuff like that. That's kind of what people have been referring to for Gen 10. They've been saying, we're going to Greece. It's going to be an archipelago, all that kind of stuff, right? While none of that has been confirmed, and we are probably not going to hear anything more realistically until Pokemon Day 2026. So we still are about 5-ish months away before Pokemon will come out, although I think we may actually have some leaks before then. A lot of this is speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. These are things that people can very easily make, especially in the world of AI nowadays, so it's easier and easier to make it, so do understand that. But I did think that because people were talking specifically, I'm going to show you these first 3 images, about these images, that it would be worth bringing these to you today. There are people who are claiming that this is Gen 10, like, test film, something like that, for these Pokemon that are, you can kind of see it being on an island, right, with, the grass, the big mountains, the blue skies. It feels like you could realistically see this on, as a mountain or as an island in a Pokemon game. But, there have been a lot of people who've been like, well, these are for sure fake. I will say I'm pretty sure that these are not real, but I did think that they are worth going over because maybe they're not. I actually saw somebody made the point on 4chan, even though I don't use it very often, about, when Gen 6 leaks were coming out, how Lucha and Greninja, people were just like, there's just no way that that'll ever happen, especially because the game was going from, such a... from the 2D space to the 3D space. So a lot of people just didn't think that it was possible that Pokemon could make a game that really looked like that. And the only thing I will say is the lighting on this is surprisingly very good. The grass actually looks good. It's a very barren sort of land, and you can kind of see like the trees and stuff don't look completed, and you might be like, well, that's AI for sure. Well, if they're not obviously done with the game when this came out most likely during the Terra leaks, and people are just now starting to kind of let it out. The Terra leaks were a year ago, right? So this game would have had almost a full year and a half-ish, right, to probably debut, to really work on the graphics before then, and they're just using this as a placeholder. You can even see like the screen that they're putting this on makes it look like it's a Switch, or a Switch 2 more accurately. So, kudos to them for being able to kind of put that in there. But, my point is that we are going to be taking a very big graphical leap, right? They made Pokemon Legends ZA, and you can argue this with me all day, but I understand that this is just kind of how they work. Pokemon Legends ZA was made to be able to work on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. I think Gen 10 is going to be just Switch 2. I do not think there will be a Switch 1 version of the game. Because of that, there will be much better available graphics to them, right? The Switch 2 has a much better, CPU, GPU, all that kind of stuff, right? Their graphics, the chips, the cards that they are using are much more advanced. Seeing Pokemon take a bigger step forward, as we saw, when they went to the, Nintendo DS and 3DS, to the Nintendo Switch, and now to the Nintendo Switch 2, which will be by far the biggest graphical capabilities possible, something like this is possible. That being said, this thing looks severely fake. I don't really believe that there's any way that this could be a Pokemon. There's just not actually enough detail for me. Again, it could just be an early build, but I don't know. You also have this weird pig, duck horned, I don't know, dinosaur looking thing with fire on its tail, right? Looking like it's in, some sort of, volcano. You've got another image of it here. This one looks a little bit more like a Pokemon. I will say I could totally see this being a Pokemon, with, again, more details and things added to it. I don't think, again, that this is real, but there are new 4chan leaks, as I stated before. And people are claiming that this is potentially the water starter, right? This is what we're seeing from, these potential Gen 10 leaks. I will say the thing that actually makes it feel less likely to me is that, this grass, these, I don't know, I forget what those are called, but maybe cattails, I can't remember, whatever they're called, but the wheat, the grass, looks too realistic for me. But like the animation, especially for the kid, with that little, I don't know, thing that you have for the hat. I mean, you guys can literally see it here. 1 second. Let me pull my Ampharos off. Like, looks very similar to my old hat here for Ash Ketchum. With his, I believe it was for the Indigo League, right? Like that's very much something that you could see. They've got more images, again, of those similar kids in the background. Like, these could really and truly just be 3D concept arts. This could theoretically be the grass starter, right? With its trainer, I don't know who that would be. And, like, everybody's been talking about Greece. These islands. So you have these columns, right, that you see, with these designs, whether or not it's marble or just stone, right? Like, limestone, all that kind of stuff you could see here. Then you have a Griffin, a Pokemon that we have not had yet, I believe. Any sort of Griffin, anything like that. Here, and then you can kind of see it in motion. And these are clearly coming from the same person, right, who was making these. And I do say making these because, again, I still think that this is fake and maybe somebody making it for their own game. Or maybe it's even, randomly like some Pal World stuff that is, kind of leaking out here and potentially, I don't know. It just feels like this is just not real. But then again, like, the grass here looks very Pokemon-like with their grass, right? These characters look very Pokemon-like. You can very easily fake these things. I would put it at like a 98% chance that these are fake. There's that 1 or 2% of me that's like, these are just early builds and they're not like fully done yet. And there are things that they could do differently. But then you see things like this Hippogriff or this Griffin, wing where it's like weirdly, formatted and stuff like that. But again, if it's from an early build of the game, who knows? Or like this one where I have no idea what's going on with its head stomach thing. But, I guess it's possible that this could be it. And I don't know. These images don't really convince me, but they do, have some merit. I mean, even like this column looks like it's cut off. I don't know. I figured it was at least just bringing to your guys' attention, bringing to anybody who's feeling like watching, to their attention. I want to at least look at potential leaks, and if we find something, let you guys determine whether or not you believe it's real. I'm going to say, like I said, that these are fake. There's a small chance that this is from like a super alpha build of the game and that we're going to get these vast lands, where we're running around in Pokemon, and that we're going to get a Griffin Pokemon, that we're going to get, I don't know what the hell this is, to be honest with you, but I don't know, this either like some sort of turtle, dolphin, porpoise kind of thing, and this weird dinosaur thing. Like, these just feel, again, more like a Pal World type thing than a Pokemon by, pretty much all indications. But the Griffin maybe looks the most like a Pokemon, I would say, except for maybe the eyes. So, I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments section below. Again, I'm like almost certain that these are fake. I just never want to give anything like 100% these are fake until somebody says something. But these are coming from, again, that same person who clearly put out these images as well, that I know that I've seen other content creators talking about. And these are, 4 or 5. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 new ones here that we have. So let me know, again, what you guys think in the comments section below. We're going to continue to cover leaks. We're going to continue to talk about Pokemon Legends ZA here. And we're going to continue to talk about Pokemon Champions as we get nearer to its release. But that is going to wrap it up for us on this one. So from our house to yours, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.